President Trump pulled this stunt?
Yeah, we're learning more about what was behind this last-minute photo op. So last-minute, we should know that Secret Service rushed up here on this balcony where I'm standing right now, where CNN has been broadcasting for weeks now without any heads up that they were coming up here because, of course, they wanted to have eyes on the president. And now sources are telling my colleague Kevin Liptak that in part the reason the president made this trip outside the gates of the White House, a really rare trip where you do not often see the president walk out of the front door of the White House, walk across Lafayette Square, and come over here to St. John's, was driven in part that he was upset by coverage of the fact that he had been rushed to the underground bunker on Friday night during those protests that you saw breaking out here in front of the White House. That is what sources are saying, Anderson. That was part of the decision.
We are in trouble. This country is being led by a man.
He wanted to be seen outside the gates.
Of course he did. He was taken to a bunker, and you know he's hiding in a bunker, and he is embarrassed that people know that. So what does he have to do? He has to sick police on peaceful protesters so he can make a big show of being, you know, the little big man walking to a closed down church. And then, you know, he always talks about the world laughing, that the world are laughing at the governors right now. They're not laughing at the governors. They're standing in horror over what is happening. The only people that the world is laughing at is the President of the United States. And this event, as I said, if it wasn't so dangerous and disgusting, it would be funny because it is so low rent and just sad. I mean, I plan to come tonight and trying to be as calm and reasonable as you know, and straightforward in just doing this hour of news, and this happened, and I just can't believe that this is what we have. This is the United States of America. This is the president we have. They wanted a disruptor. Well, yeah, that's what disruption is.
It's so notable because, Anderson, in the Rose Garden, when the president first came out, he said, "I am an ally of peaceful protest." But what we watched from up here was these peaceful protesters who had been out here for about 8 hours, the 8 hours that we'd been up here. And then we watched them, of course. They got 3 really short warnings. And within 10 minutes, it was crowded down here. And then all of the protesters had been moved down the street for the president to come out, walk across Lafayette Square, and go to this church that he's visited a handful of times during his presidency. And now we know that was driven in part.
They're all for peaceful protests, except never the actual peaceful protest that's happening. Colin Kaepernick, people taking a knee during a sporting event. No, that's completely inappropriate. That's not the right kind of peaceful protest. A peaceful protest across from the White House, Lafayette Park, it's a federal land. That's why you can use federal forces. No, that's not appropriate. I mean, I'm mystified by all these people who say they're for peaceful protests. I'm not sure what a peaceful protest is supposed to look like, given that everyone that I've seen so far hasn't ended up so well for those who are being peaceful. And I'm not, I mean,
and Anderson,
violence is not an answer. Go ahead, sorry.
We should note who was missing from this photo opportunity that the president did, where he came out here, he posed with the Bible. You saw the Attorney General, you saw the National Security Advisor, you saw the Defense Secretary. The Vice President, Mike Pence, was not here. He did not make this trip with the president. Neither did the First Lady, Melania Trump. Really notable not to see either of those figures come with the president over here to this church where the basement caught on fire last night.
I also
very
noticed,
famous presidential church.
Right. I noticed Ivanka Trump was no fool, and she didn't get sucked into lining up with the president, unless that happened when the cameras had moved or something. But from what I saw, it was only Kayleigh McEnany was the only woman who got dragged into that. You know, the rest was just the defense secretary. I mean, again, what a day. Caitlin Collins, thank you. More now on the mechanics and in a moment the constitutionality or not of threatening to impose